I know we haven't met for 2 weeks, so it, I was traveling, and even yesterday I came back late. So that's why it took a little time for me to get ready here. But we'll get started. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, who wants to start?
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिपोदितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितं पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवतीम् अष्टाष्टशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवत्येशिनी.
नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दाय तपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं तं च चाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः.
Very good. Thank you. So, we are almost on the last leg of the 20 values. We had completed up to 18 values so far, and these are from shlokas number 8 through number 12. As I have always mentioned, these these particular values, which are the word jnanam has a very unique meaning here. It is basically, it refers to all those values which are conducive to the attainment of knowledge. Jnanam, of course, means knowledge, but here the values are indicated as knowledge also, because it is these values which purify our mind. And the idea is we need to go beyond the mind. I'm not the mind, I'm not the body, I'm not the intellect, I am that. Aham Brahmasmi. And this aspect of 13th through the 18 chapters, it talks about the Mahavakya of the Asi part of it, or that isness, that I am. So, what is that isness? In order to understand that isness or Asi part of it, that for that we require a very pure mind even to understand it. So you will see the two values which we're going to do today is talking about that. So any of these virtues which are part of the 20, it is meant to make a mind really eligible for that knowledge, that spiritual knowledge. And therefore, these words, these virtues are all called as jnanam. And these are the 20 values that we have been talking about. And Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. So this is the 19th and the 20th. Nityatvam is 19 in the order. You will see that in the shloka, and 20th is the Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. But in order to understand what Adhyatma Jnanam is, we have to first understand what is that view, darshanam, what is that view of the purpose, artha, of that knowledge. So what is the purpose of that knowledge? So that is why the 20th value is superimposed here with the 19th, and we will see this in that order also, which is first we see, then we see Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, which is the 19th one. Okay. So we saw all this, quite a few things. I'll actually skip everything because we have already gone through. And so this was from that shloka of 10th. And let's see, shloka number 11. Maicha Anyan Bhakti we saw this also. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratir Jana Samsadi. Again, trying to make a mind more and more purer and
Hari Om Sunitha ji, excuse me. You're breaking up, Sunitha ji. Think you've lost. Internet is freezing up.
I think it froze now.
Yeah.
oh, really? I'm frozen?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, a
but
little bit. Yes.
you're breaking up.
okay, let me change my server here
Thank you.
and just turn on my hotspot.
Okay.
1 second. Well, hopefully now it'll be better. Am I audible now?
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
Sunitha,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Yeah? Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
very good. Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. So then in the shloka number 11, we discussed about the bhakti aspect, which is unswerving devotion to me. And in order to come to this level again, our mind has to become more and more, pure. And by getting the purity of mind, actually, our intellect also becomes very clear, and it helps us to understand a lot of these values. So we did this as well. And now I want to come into the shloka for what we were going to discuss today. Okay, so finally we come to shloka number 12, which is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, which is what I mentioned, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam is the 19th value. Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam, value number 20. Etat Jnanam iti proktam, Ajnanam yat ataha anyata. So all these are the values which are declared to be knowledge, and it is opposed to ignorance. So that is so we are going to do the values Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam and Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Okay. So what is Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam? So it is basically Tattva means the truth. So what do we mean by truth? So truth is that which is which doesn't change at all. It is that absolute truth. We talk about honesty and everything, but truth is like, honesty sometimes can be subject to situations or subject to people, right? We may be honest with some people, we may not be honest with some others, that is honesty. But truth is something which doesn't change at all. Okay. And then Tattva Jnana. Jnana here is actually used as not in the sense of the values that we've been talking about, but Jnana here is essentially that self-knowledge. Okay, self-knowledge, or Vedantam, everything what we say, that absolute knowledge is what we are referring to here as Tattva Jnana. And Artha means purpose. Okay, Artha. Why am I doing things? What is the value of learning this? So Artha means a purpose. And Darshanam, Tattva Darshana means actually that vision or that sight. So Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam is keeping in view the purpose of the knowledge of truth. So that's the value. So understanding the purpose for why I need to learn about self-knowledge. So tattva, knowledge, tattva is the truth, jnanam is the knowledge, artha is the purpose, and view, darshanam. Okay. So knowledge of truth or tattva jnana is the thing to be known in life for which all the values so far is preparing a mind. So once my mind is prepared, then the idea is I will see the truth or experience the truth. So that is what Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam means here. It's a commitment to self-knowledge. So whenever we, for us as human beings, right, we basically want to, we always, we want a goal to be achieved, right? We're always striving towards a goal. So when we think about a goal as normal human beings, what would you say? What do you think we are all aiming towards?
Liberation, moksha.
Moksha, okay, okay. You're all very advanced students, so you already know what we're looking for. Because now, Madhuri, why would you say that that is what we're looking for, moksha?
Because I think we experienced everything, life,
Uh-huh.
and we want to
Right,
reach the God. That's what we
right,
think. Yeah.
correct. So we've
No more
experienced
birth and
everything.
yeah.
Right, no more birth, no more death. Of course, these are things that has been told by scriptures, by the Mahatmas with whom, we have satsang, all that. But are we convinced about it? That's a question that we have to always ask ourselves. How well am I convinced that I do not want to go through another life? That is an important aspect. And second thing is, okay, I need moksha, but why? I need moksha mainly because um, I have experienced everything. Of course, we have experienced everything, but even though we've experienced everything, we are still not able to be happy, correct? There's still that longing. There's still that something else that I want. So I'm trying in this world to get that next thing. And of course, especially living in America, it is there's always something new, always something new. Now it is AI, and even in AI, I mean, and of course, in AI, things are going so fast that earlier we had just maybe ChatGPT by this OpenAI.com website, but now we have so many different variations, and not only that, we have so many different tools which are coming out like anything, right? So that's what we think is going to make me more and more happy. They're pushing us to get into that kind of a thing. But we're all smart people, right? So we said no, that may be going in one way. That's okay. There are positive things as well as things that we need to watch out for from AI. However, I am set, and this is why we have to thank our rishis and we have to thank Lord Krishna that we
Yeah.
have this knowledge here, that
There's the
this
faith. Yeah.
correct. We have the faith and we know that there is something beyond all this.
Yeah.
AI, everything is in the realm of Maya. I have to get out of this Maya. I have to really leap out, of this Maya part of it. And all this Maya can exist only as long as my mind exists. This is something we have to keep in mind, right? As long as my mind is there, as long as I'm dependent only upon this mind to do things for me, this mind can be my friend, mind can be my enemy. Uddharedatmanatmanam atmanam avasadeyat. Amrita, the Panchamrit shlokas, I think you're all getting familiar with all of them. This year of Amrit Mahotsav. So we want to go beyond the mind. And that is really the basic thing that we need to know in this world. So that basic thing, we want actually moksha. Moksha uh, moksha, which is liberation. Of course, we're going to talk a lot more in this two shlokas only about this. Okay, we need the knowledge of the truth, that fundamental nature of really who I am. So far, my mind has been outside, or my mind is focused on the outside. It is going outwards to look at so many different objects and everything to give me the happiness. But slowly and slowly, I'm recognizing that outside world is not giving me the happiness. That happiness is within myself. So I want to slowly and slowly understand who am I. So this not only who I am, but what is it about Jiva, what is about Ishvara, the creator, the creation, all this. So this knowledge of everything is actually the meaning of Tattva Jnanam. Okay, so this basic knowledge of truth, which also can be called as Atma Jnanam, which is, of course, this truth about myself, you know. So this is the one that I'm really working hard towards. And that is truly the purpose of my life. So when we talk about purpose, um, uh, can somebody remember what are the definition of what are the four, what should I say? I guess I'm giving it away. The Purusharthas, right? The four
The-
Purusharthas, which are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and
Dharma
Moksha.
Moksha.
and moksha.
Correct, exactly. So this is how, for us as a Vedantin, we look at life, right? So, in fact, I think I might be coming to that also. When I was preparing this presentation, I wanted to keep that in mind. So, for us, this goal of self-knowledge, which leads to moksha, is the one which is really the purpose of our human life. I mean, we have about what 84 million species in the world. Of all this, our human birth is the rarest one, which only in the human birth can I really understand this true purpose of the jiva. So, what is the journey of the jiva? What is the goal of a jiva? Can be understood only in a human birth, because in a human birth only we have an intellect, and the intellect allows us to ponder upon this highest truth, and that is the one which is called as Adhyatma Jnana also. Self-knowledge means Adhyatma Jnana. So the purpose of knowledge needs to be understood first before I actually study the Adhyatma Jnana. So what is Adhyatma Jnana will come in the next value, but I need to understand why. Why do I need this, right? So, and this is where, this dharma, artha, kama, moksha um, makes sense. So, for us, we know that our purpose of life, according to our Shastras, we need to live a life of dharma. And what is dharma? Dharma are basically the ethical standards, which are given in the scriptures, and using dharma, I do every action in the world. So first I need to understand that anything and everything I do starts with this concept of dharma. Dharma means that which is sanctioned, which is sanctioned by all our scriptures, a dharmic way of living. And this aspect of dharma also governs, am I going forward or am I going backward? Dharma, adharma, right? So they are the ethical norms which are already given to us. Now, this is how we would, as a Vedantin, move forward, right? And then what is artha? Artha is basically, it kind of gives you, it refers to the goal of acquiring the things that we think will give us a lot of security, So, and what are the things that gives us security?
Wealth, job,
Job, exactly. Job, money, lots of
wealth,
money.
wealth.
Yes. Then wealth, then power.
How
Right.
about contentment?
Contentment is a byproduct,
Mhm.
correct? It's a byproduct of all this. The contentment comes, like, for example, if I'm at a certain position, I get a bigger house. At that moment, I'm contented, as soon as I get a bigger house. But the
Temporary.
second, yes, it's temporary. The second my friend buys a bigger house, my contentment has gone down,
Mm,
right?
mm.
No, no,
So,
I think Sunitha,
yeah,
Gita is saying contentment itself as a goal.
correct. Correct. I understood that
If you can
contentment is,
realize that,
yeah, if you can realize
correct me if
that,
I'm
then
wrong, Gita.
Correct. Correct. Goal. Correct.
contentment is, so artha refers to basically this, like, I said, security. It's a security which comes through various ways. So the ultimate goal, Sureshi, is, yes, that contentment, that absolute contentment, which is independent of everything. But here, artha is referring to very simple, all the things that I feel will give me the contentment. So I keep pursuing that. Then
Does
karma
it
is
respond to
basically,
knowledge? Does it refer to knowledge also or no knowledge?
um, if I look at knowledge, will give me that ultimate content, it can be, it won't be called as artha then. Okay, artha is all the material possessions. Okay.
Okay.
Now, there is a difference in how we can look at how a Vedantin would look at all these four words and a non-Vedantin. Okay. Up to Dharma, Artha, Kama, they're all in the realm of not where knowledge is. Okay. Dharma is, like I said, it's the process by which we do things. Anything and everything we do, it has to be dharmic. Artha is the material things that we are looking for. And kama is the ability to enjoy a lot of the things. And ultimately, moksha goal, is the goal of discovering that uh, who I am. It's a goal of discovering that self of mine, which is independent of time, like for example, which is independent of where I am in my journey. I can attain moksha even at this. I don't have to wait until when I'm 90 or 95 to get moksha. I can aspire
Is
for
it in
moksha
an
even.
ascending order or?
Yeah, uh, you can look at it as an ascending order, but these are all what should I say, things that we are aspiring for. These are all the purpose in which we're going. So, dharma is the process. Artha is what I'm looking for in life, what I'm trying to get so that I can be happy. Kama is the desire, it's the goal of enjoying once I have this property, all my desires as an outlet for desires, and moksha is an aspect. So all four of them are part of the human purpose. It's you cannot say they are ascending or descending or anything. Okay.
Okay.
And in some sense, if you look at it, a Vedantin versus a non-Vedantin, right? Now, a non-Vedantin, for example, uh, is also practicing dharma in some ways, but they do it more out of, like, for example, speeding. Okay. Dharma, if I look at, say, if I go by the books, I'm told that I shouldn't speed because, that's the right thing to do and all that. But a non-Vedantin, for example, would look at the same dharma aspect in terms of speeding as, oh my God, the police is waiting there, So my tracker just tracked a police another 1 mile down the road, so I better slow down. So that's how somebody would look at dharma if they didn't really go by Vedanta or whatever. And Artha is a person who is constantly in the material world trying to get more and more, because the person thinks that that's how the person is getting happiness. And karma also is the getting pleasures, all kinds of pleasures, and indulging on them and not really understanding what it is. Whereas a Vedantin would look at a pleasure as understanding that, yes, I have that vasana, I have the vasana for enjoying something, but I'll be in control. I'll enjoy it, but I know that is not my ultimate. So that's how these three things can be looked at. But ultimately, moksha is liberation. Moksha is really going beyond all this. Okay. So moksha is actually the desire to be rid of um, the desire itself. So moksha is the goal for discovering freedom from all this aspect here. Okay, so when we look at all this, where do we think this Atma Jnana really ends up? So this Atma Jnana can be only in the moksha category, right? So so this value, which is basically moksha, means it's complete freedom from any kind of limitations. Okay. Now, limitation, when you look at artha is security, right? We talked about security and getting the security through name, fame, wealth, all that. That can happen only when I feel I haven't got that position. So I'm looking for it. So I feel I'm incomplete without it. So obviously, self-knowledge doesn't belong there, right? And then definitely self-knowledge doesn't belong in karma also. So ultimately, this belongs to only in this area of moksha. And so the state of mind of a person who keeps moksha as a goal, that person is the only one who is really looking for self-knowledge. So I guess we can pat ourselves in the back that all of us who are sitting on this session here, we are here because we have understood at the end of the day that everything that I'm pursuing is not taking me somewhere. So I need a little bit of dose, of this knowledge, or even to understand Adhyatma Jnanam or Tattva Darshanam, Tattva Jnanam. I need to know this, even though I may not understand completely what it means. But I need this in order for me to really understand that I want to be liberated, right? So that in the moksha, so that is what we need. But then we have to ask ourselves, you know, if knowledge is the means to moksha, and we're saying moksha means freedom, okay? We really need to understand what this freedom means, okay? Is it freedom to drive as fast as I can on the highway? Is it the freedom to buy as much as I want all the time, waste everything all the time? Is that, that is what is freedom? So, how would we? I just want to ask all of you because you're all, been studying this. How would we define this Vedantic freedom versus the material freedom that we talk about?
Freedom from desires.
Freedom from desires. Okay.
I
To
don't know. Desire to
want to
freedom. Okay.
accept everything, to have a prasada buddhi and accept everything without
Uh-huh.
getting upset emotionally.
Okay.
Everything naturally.
Okay.
And this freedom from the cycle of birth and death.
Freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Okay. So, uh, both Anand, both you as well as Amma had mentioned two things. One is freedom from birth and death. So, we think that this aspect of being born and dying itself is something which is binding me, correct? It is limiting me to this physical body, right? So the physical body itself is a kind of a bondage for me. It is limiting who I am.
So
And
can we
when we
say,
think about, yeah, go
can we
ahead.
say like freedom from the conditional mind or something? It will
Freedom
be the
from the
same thing.
conditional mind, yes.
Yeah.
So the mind is being conditioned, correct? The mind has put on itself certain conditions that unless I get this, I will not be happy. So I'm actually conditioning myself by material things, which itself is very temporary. And I'm saying my happiness depends on that. So that is limiting myself. That is not giving me a freedom to expand beyond that. So freedom is something which has to be beyond any material things. No material thing can limit my can help me to get freedom. But today, what are we doing? We are saying that unless I get something, I will not be free. So I am hitching all my freedom on something which is completely material. I want to bring back what Amma had said. Freedom, she mentioned about is the ability to accept anything and everything, right? So today, how is our mind? Our mind is not accepting everything. So again, going back to what Madhuri said, it is a conditional mind. My mind has been conditioned to accept certain things. My mind is conditioned to not accept some things. So freedom is that ability to go beyond the mind where there is no condition at all. So it is actually, if you think about it, freedom then is something where my mind is limitless, right? So, what I'm really seeking for is a freedom to be limitless, to be choiceless. That is freedom. That is the kind of freedom that I want to go, which is beyond any limitations of anything which is physical. So, and this limitlessness, okay, limitless is not something that can be created or produced, okay? So, my essential nature then is not limited to the physical structure what I have. My essential nature is not limited to any of the beliefs I have, which Amma just said, the ability to accept anything and everyone. So, my essential nature is totally limitless. It is not limited by the physical body, mind, intellect, and everything. And that is why I keep saying, that I need to go beyond the mind. I need to be able to really push myself completely out of the shackles of everything that I think about myself, which can give me happiness, think about everything that myself, which can give me security. So, all that, I am that limitless uh, person. It's almost like I want to give a small example of, you have this space in a balloon. Okay, you have a balloon which you have blown the balloon, you have put some, you have blown it up, and suddenly, but that balloon, cannot. You have to literally tie it if you want the balloon to retain a shape of its own, right? Because the balloon is just waiting to. Um, that space in the balloon wants to become part of the whole space outside. So that's how we are right now. We are this jiva who is limited by this physical equipments, limited by all the things that I think who I am. And I need to actually break open that aspect of it and be completely, limitless. And this, um, if I understand this concept really well, then I will understand that any amount of energy that I'm spending in this world to acquire all finite things, okay, finite things like a house, a name, fame, what people think about me, all these things, they are all limited. They're limited by time, they're limited by space, they're limited by material things. They have to break down sometime. And here I am waiting and spending all my time only on this limited behavior. And the more and more time I spend in this world acquiring all these limited things, I will never really understand that my nature is limitlessness. And that is freedom. So, freedom is really something which each and every one of us, we've been given the choice to pursue something which is limitless. But I'm wasting my time in this world, okay, pursuing only the finite things. So the question then comes is how long will I be in this state, right? And that is why our beautiful, the four stages of our life is given to us. Retirement age, there's a thing called retirement age where I need to, um, doing my grasashram or anything, I need to exhaust my karma desire to do things if I truly understand the perspective from a Vedantin, to exhaust whatever I want before that, and then pursue my desire to become limitless. Okay. And to do this is why I need this values, the 20 values, and the ultimate knowledge itself. So the first almost up to 18 values is preparing a mind to become so subtle that I'll be able to understand this concept of limitlessness. Okay. So, and this is what I meant when I said, limited means cannot produce limitlessness. Limited means. So I should have put a comma after that means here. Okay. So what is moksha then? Moksha is that state of limitlessness. Okay. So if I think my essential nature is Sunitha, and Sunitha who is having this physical body, who is thinking this way, as long as I think that is who I am, that essential nature, then there is no way I can ever have any moksha. Okay? I can never be absolutely liberated. Maybe I can be liberated for a short while, doing my meditation or something, doing my meditation where I get into that state of choiceless awareness. I can think about myself to be liberated, but the second I, so as long as I'm living in this world, so as long as I look at the world around me and at myself, I judge myself to be bound, limited, inadequate, and constantly affected by the ups and downs, right? So as long as I have that identity of myself, as Sunitha, identity of myself, as roles I'm playing, identity of myself, where I identify myself, not only the roles, but also the qualities, everything, and I interact in the world, there is no moksha for me because they're all very limited for me. Though that's what I meant by here, by saying limited means cannot produce limitlessness. But at the same time, all of us have this. We all have actually within us that ability, that love for freedom, that comes to us at different moments. It could be, when I'm enjoying the highest of music, which pushes me to a level where I go even beyond the mind. That moment, I'm limitless because I've not conditioned myself by the mind. So that is the knowledge. That is the knowledge that I am limitless is what I need to understand and pursue that. And to pursue that kind of a knowledge, my mind has to be very clear. My mind has to be completely something, and that is the freedom that I'm trying to actually look at it. And the reason I'm not able to accept that freedom, not even accept, I mean, the reason I'm not able to appreciate the freedom is only because I'm ignorantly thinking that I'm this physical body, ignorantly thinking that happiness lies everywhere, happiness only in everything outside me, ignorantly thinking. So that is what we mean by the word ignorance. I'm constantly ignorant of the fact that I am that limitless being, and I think I'm this limited being pursuing things for limited happiness, pursuing things with limited things, and there is no way I'll ever gain moksha by doing that. Correct? Because limited means can never produce that limitlessness, and I am limitlessness. That is my nature. So that is the aspect which a mumukshu is seeking, mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam is that aspect of um, where the person recognizes that he or she is that ultimate Brahman. And that knowledge, so Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam is simply actually a value for the highest mumukshu, where the person recognizes that I've been in this world long enough, I've enjoyed all this, but now let me spend at least 5 minutes of my time or 10 minutes of my time every day reading more and more of these scriptures, which is taking me opposite of where AI is taking, of I'm not again being judgmental about AI. AI can do great things for us. In fact, AI really as a process is amazing how much it helps us to even clarify things, you know. But the point is there is a greater knowledge which is beyond AI that I need to work on, and I can't really spend the time too much in this world on here. So I think we are very fortunate to be in a generation where we can recognize there is that knowledge which we can pursue before AI can completely suck us in. So anyway, that is what Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam is all about. So I have just some simple questions here, points for reflection. What is our basic motivation behind seeking self-knowledge? What is the purpose? Do we really have that burning desire to be that limitlessness? Is that really a primary goal? And if it is a primary goal, what changes can we do in order to accommodate this goal? So just some points for reflection. So I want to ask you all, what do you think? What are your thoughts on these 5 questions here?
Can
So
we
you
say, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, Geeta.
Can we say attending these lectures is also a motivation factor to reach self-knowledge?
Absolutely, absolutely. We start off with that small change that we do to our life is because anything and everything we do, Gita, ultimately, if you look at it, is in the realm of limited things. So, but just attending itself is not enough. It is actually reflecting upon it, really reflecting on, does this make sense? So, I guess one point of reflection which I should have put here is, are we convinced that the pursuit of limited things will not give me happiness? Are we convinced? Only if I'm convinced about it will I make any changes to my life.
Even if we are convinced, we still go towards the temporary thing. Why is it happening?
That will happen. That, because we have come through so many lives. I mean, you can't stop a train which has which has been in the journey for such a long time, right? It may the train has been traveling at what 100 miles an hour or whatever. Now, train maybe not won't go at 100 miles an hour. A car which has been traveling at 70 or 80 miles per hour, to be expected to come down to, 0 miles per hour. It can come down to 69 maybe, which itself will take a long time for the person to understand or whatever. But that's what we're saying. So, Suresh, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, reading these points, and you introduced, at least talked about this concept of moksha as liberation. Liberation is how we think of what moksha is, but no, you introduce this idea of moksha is true realization of limitless aspect of our life.
Correct. Moksha is that state
Realizing
of
that.
limitless. Huh?
Realizing that aspect
Yes.
of our life.
Yes.
It is slightly
Realizing
different
that aspect.
from liberation. I mean, I guess.
No, so no, it is not different. It is the way we understand what liberation means. So how do you understand liberation? So I just want to ask you first, how do you define liberation?
To me, that is a kind of unclear thing. What liberation means is an unclear thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So liberation, basically, fundamentally, the word liberation means getting out of the notion that I'm limited. So it's a very liberating feeling. We sometimes you say, "Oh my God, this is so liberating." You know, I've heard sometimes some kids also use this term. "Oh, this is so liberating, so freeing." You mean I don't have to think like this anymore? Wow, that's how we think, and that is truly the case. It is truly, see, liberation is not something that happens after I die. Many times people do say that, oh, after I die, I become one with God. We say that very often, we offer that as a condolence message and everything. That is, uh, you know, uh, that may be true in some cases, of course, but in most cases, our life is not done yet. Our life is not, we are not liberated when we give up our body after death,
Right. So the
Liberation
idea is that
is how
you can realize it right now.
you can realize it right now. If I understand clearly that and that's why I gave that example of the balloon space. If I understand very clearly that I am that entire space, I'm not that space which is being confined within the balloon. I already, that's a very liberating feeling. So that is liberation. Liberation is getting out of the shackles of all the thoughts which have limited me in thinking, which have so far, I mean, it continuously limits us into pursuing our day-to-day stuff. Every day when I'm trying to make more money in the stock market, or every day when I'm trying to think about what bigger house I want, or every this one, that is limiting me. I have to go out of that. That is not to say that we should not pursue that, but I have to recognize that I'm doing that because of my prarabdham, which is continuing to do that. But at the end of the day, I can actually give it up just like that and move on, because I recognize limitlessness is my final goal. Limiting myself with more and more things which are temporary, which is going to, if I have an earthquake tomorrow and all this, everything is going to go anyway. So, why am I pursuing all this? So that is what liberation means. Any
Arun,
other thoughts? Yeah, go ahead, Anand.
yeah, one way of thinking is saying that I'm not being bonded. I don't have bondage, and that's the yeah, free from the
Mhm.
yeah, free from bondage, right? That's the reason why people say we came to the world. So
Mhm.
that's one way of thinking. That's liberation,
Yes, so I'm free. I'm free all the time.
right?
That, yeah, that is moksha. That is liberation. I'm a free person. Yeah, freedom. In fact, I mean, if you now take up this self-unfoldment or even Kindle Life, the very first chapter itself, Swami Chinmayananda beautifully says in that, independence is my birthright. So, so that is what this Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam basically is giving us. So the next one, I'll just introduce a concept. I know it is already 5 minutes over time. We started late, but I will just introduce a concept, which is, so this is actually the Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. As I mentioned earlier, Adhyatma means self. So Jnanam is knowledge. So Nityatvam. So understanding the ultimate validity, Nityatvam. The ultimate knowledge is nothing but self-knowledge. So the question is, how do I gain this knowledge? Tattva Adhyatma Jnanam, which is the same, which means is Tattva Jnanam. So this knowledge, it is not gained by just sitting under a tree, So sitting under a tree may be good for a lot of things. So sitting and contemplating and meditating, all that, may give us some idea of getting rid of what the world is, what the miseries and everything. But this kind of knowledge doesn't come just because somebody is sitting quietly, okay? I need to work on all those 18 values, the Vivikta Desha Sevitvam and this Asakti, all these values, if I understand well, then this knowledge, this quest for knowledge, this burning desire for knowledge comes into play. So there has to be a means in how I can gain this knowledge. So Adhyatma Jnanam is understanding the validity, the ultimate validity of this one. So it basically deals with a very effective approach for gaining the self-knowledge. How do I gain this Atma Jnanam? So that is how the ability to gain towards this is what we will really understand where and how can we find this knowledge, and what do we need to do to get closer to it. So that is the last value which we'll be touching upon. And once we do that, so next week we'll do this particular value as well as, just as a kind of summarize all the values on leading to this one. And we will be finishing the whole 20 values at that time. Okay. So let's Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyat dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shantihi. Om purnamadav purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate. Purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vashishyate. Om shanti shanti shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om, everyone.
Thank you,
Hari Om,
Sunitha. Hari
Thank
Om.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Belated Happy New Year wishes to everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year wishes to
Happy New
everyone.
Year.
Happy Tamil
Yeah,
New Year.
Happy New
Tamil
Year.
New Year, Vishu, Shankranti, everything.
Yeah.